Hi everyone.
We're the
Sunshine Stitchers. I'm EJ.
I'm Gary.
I'm Shelia. And
who do we have?
I'm Dena. Hi everyone. Hi y'all.
Otherwise known as
Half stitch, cross stitch.
There we go.
Yes. We're so happy that Dena is joining us today. And we were just talking about the fact that we met last year at StitchCon and had all things worked out.
Mm-hmm.
We would have been at StitchCon this very weekend. Yeah. So it's quite fitting that we are together today.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Dena is a night owl driven stitcher because she's like, I'm staying up till this one is done. And every night we're up till like 2 or 3.
Yes. Yes.
We were. It was great.
Gary and Dena closed down the Hyatt. What did you do? You all took over?
We took over the breakfast room.
The breakfast room.
Yes. Yeah.
So they made breakfast.
We didn't have to get up early for breakfast. We were already there.
Yeah.
I can imagine the kitchen staff coming in the morning, like, what's with them?
Well, yeah. Then I ran up to the room for a 3-hour nap and then came right back down and started at 7.
Yeah.
And we did that for 3 days?
Yes.
Nice. I would have been in that group this year.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
Yes, indeed. So definitely next year.
Yes.
We're looking forward to next year.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
All right. So we want to, before we get into more introductory discussions with Dena, I first just want to thank everybody for watching our videos, for subscribing, thank you for all your really great comments about our guest last week, Joy-Filled Stitcher Annie.
Yes.
Delightful. Everybody appreciated her songs, her singing. It was so much fun. So much fun. And I want to say a particular thank you to Dallas G for the cup and the needle minders. I so messed up.
Well, we were reading the cards.
We were reading the cards, and my mind went screwy. Doesn't take a lot.
Thank you, Dallas.
I do want to say thank you so much,
you.
Dallas. and so, Dena, so now it's all about you.
Oh, no.
So tell us, how did you get started stitching? Kind of who taught you?
Well, my mom, who was a wonderful seamstress, made almost everything I ever wore up until I got married. And then she said it was up to me after that. Taught me to cross stitch when I was about 8. And I was just a really big tomboy. I'd rather be out playing softball or, something else. But I learned, and I did one set of pillowcases that were so tight. The tension was so tight, they actually puckered. It was bad. It was a stamped cross stitch. And I thought, this is not fun. This is not good. This doesn't look good. I'm not good at this. And I put it down, and I didn't think I'd ever pick it back up. It just wasn't my thing. Fast forward till I'm 26 years old. I'm at home. I'm pregnant with our son, and I need something to do in the evenings. And a friend of mine at work was cross-stitching. And I remembered my mom teaching me to do that, but hers looked so nice. And hers wasn't stamped. She was doing counted cross-stitch, so it was very different. So I asked her if she would remind me how to do that. And she came over one evening. Her name was Barbara. And she taught me how to stitch, including the loop start, which was wonderful because I had, no idea.
Yeah.
And so I started stitching, and the first thing I did was a pillowcase and a pillow cover for a friend who was pregnant. And I did the Sesame Street characters having a birthday party. It was really cute. So the first thing I ever stitched again, I gave away. So, pretty typical. But I've been stitching ever since.
Wow.
Good.
And it's also interesting that you went back to a pillowcase too.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I guess that's what I knew.
You were comfortable. That was your lane.
Comfortable with it, yeah. I remember this. Haven't done one since. Moved on.
That's enough of that.
Yep, yep.
Enough of that. She appreciated it. It was nice.
Yeah.
But
Do you have any preferences in fabric?
I do. I really like even weaves.
Mm-hmm.
I will stitch on Ada. I will stitch on linen. You know, I will stitch. Mostly, it depends on the color.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that perfect color for what you're working on.
Yeah.
And if I can't find it in an even weave, I'll do what I have to. But I do have more comfort with the even weave because when I'm stitching on linen, when you get those threads that are thicker on one side and thin on the neck, it can cause a problem. And in fact, it did for me in one of the pieces I almost was halfway through with, the Nativity, which was a Teresa Wentzler pattern.
Oh.
But faces were 1/1 and it was 32 count and it was linen. And because it was so uneven, it distorted their faces. And I just never could get them to look right. And I wound up scrapping it and starting it over. So even weave is my preference, but I do stitch on linen and I do stitch on Ada. So, you know, you do what you can to get the color you want.
Yeah.
And then you go for what's your project, you know. So.
And I think we've all had that. I mean, I have a preference for linen, but the little thin thread, fatter thread thing has tripped us all up.
I think some brands or maybe some colors seem to have more or less of that, and find out who you like as a dyer or what base fabric you like. I mean, you don't even know it half the time why you like it because it just seems to flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to like a softer fabric rather than a stiffer fabric. And so, you know, you'll find which dyers have a softer base or that their dyeing process makes it softer. You'll tend to get those.
You're using Q-snaps, right? Or scroll frames?
I use both.
Both, that's what I thought.
Yeah. How about
I've just got the scroll frames probably in the last year. And I used Q-snaps almost exclusively. And then I started having these bigger and bigger projects that wouldn't fit in a Q-snap. And I had to explore the scroll frames. And I went through a journey with that, you know, the split rail that's pretty useless that you get, you know, at the Hobby Lobby or something that doesn't hold the fabric very well. That was the first one I tried, and I thought, I don't like these. But then as I kept going, and I found the one that I love now is a RolaFrame. And it's the one that has the little tacks in it, you know, and the teeth grab, and you don't have any trouble with that one. So those are my favorite. And I do put a lot of my larger things on a scroll rod frame.
Yeah, the RolaFrame it brought me back to scroll rods because I had definitely walked away. Finally, you have something that grips and you don't have to do a whole lot of stitching on, taping on, you know.
Yeah.
Going on.
My first.
I have the American where you have the Velcro and you put the Velcro on your fabric and that holds it well, but then you've wasted that part of your fabric. So you have to make your fabric a little bit larger because you have to cut that off to frame it. And then the Velcro isn't reusable on your fabric either. You have to wind up throwing it away. So it's a constant cost to replace it. So I really do like the RolaFrames. If anyone's looking for a recommendation on a frame, that's fine.
Yeah, someone gave me my first scrolls, and it had a fabric on there, and you had to base stitch on there. The only stitch I know is an X. I put little X's across there.
Did you cross stitch your?
I said, "This is taking too much time. I don't like this."
You do 1/1.
And then it was like it was a hot mess, and I was like, I can't.
It was a hot mess. I can imagine.
Yeah, I see it. Oh my goodness.
Oh, do you have any preferences in designers or types of charts, patterns?
Well, I think that sort of goes with my stitching journey. When I first started stitching a lot was when I retired in 2014. And I had all these Mirabilia patterns in my stash that I had been wanting to stitch for a long time.
Wait, you're retired?
Yes, ma'am.
Because and you think like, oh, I went to work or I came back from work. Okay, I'm sorry.
No. I'm retired.
Oh wow, okay. I did not know that.
I do a lot of volunteer work.
Oh, work. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm retired.
Okay.
I do work I don't get paid for. So what I did is I started working on all the Mirabilia patterns, and that's why you see so many of my finishes in the last few years have been big Mirabilia projects, because that's what I had and that's what I started on. And when I started back stitching so much in 2014, I hadn't found Flosstube yet. So I was still stitching from my stash that I had way back, when I first got started. I didn't know anything about hand-dyed fabrics. I didn't know anything about hand-dyed floss. Had a whole world open up out there when my son told me about Flosstube. He found it for me. So it was a wonderful discovery. So now I've found all these new designers. So my favorite right now seems to be Jardin Privé. Just everything I stitch seems to be her. But thank you. I have a very eclectic taste. I have a little bit of everything. It keeps me from getting bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flosstube helps expose us to things that we didn't think of.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Style.
Techniques.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Even RolaFrames, like somebody's probably watching, like, what's a RolaFrame? And they'll like Google it and try to figure it out, and then boom, your whole stitching world has changed because now you went from Q-snap to RolaFrame, or vice versa.
Right. Yeah, you can keep that large project on that frame and not have to leave that Q-snap all around. It's great.
Well, we asked you to select some of the finishes that some meaning for you, and so can you show us some of those now?
I can. I have them sitting all around me, and then I'll have to move them back. So I'll start with the one Gary asked, or someone asked for me to share, and that's the Quaker Christmas too. Was that you? Okay.
I love that one. That is one of my favorites.
Oh my God.
That.
I love
Here it is.
Yeah.
And this was the first Quaker that I ever did.
It's huge.
It is huge. Isn't it beautiful?
Wow.
Gorgeous.
This one caught my eye out of all the Quakers to start with, was that this one is all about Christmas songs. So every leaf that is that's not just the geographic looking thing, is about a song, and all of the words in here are titles of Christmas carols. So I sing in a choir, so this one resonated with me about that.
Was that the called for threads, or did you change your colors?
I changed my colors. This one I changed them to DLC. They were actually called for hand-dyed floss, and it was a bluish greenish color, and it's not like a Christmas green or red, and so I didn't on bright Christmas green and red, so I did DMC 815 and 890. So it's a green and that burgundy kind of red.
Is that garnet?
Yes, like a garnet. Yeah, and that's the one that's why I chose those colors. And then I have a green sort of velvet mat around it, so it looks really nice and elegant looking, I guess. Anyway, so that was my Quaker, and then this one I'll do my oldest one. This one I finished in 2017, and I love his artwork. So this is a Norman called The Stitcher. It was the cover of the Saturday Evening Post.
Oh.
And I loved it. And I said, I've got to do this because she's stitching, you know. I have that, and this is usually up in my living room or somewhere in the house. And this was the first big piece I had framed. And we lived in Warner Robins, Georgia at the time, and my framer is an artist who does portraits and things. And she did frame cross stitch as well, but she didn't get a whole lot of it till I got there. I started stitching prolifically because I wasn't working full time anymore. And I started seeing her regularly, and she would do like this and go, "What have you got for me today?" She always thought it was fun, you know, put it together. So this one I did for Gary. This one I brought out because he loves Halloween, so I had to show this one.
Yeah.
This is Bewitching.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I don't know how much you can see, but her top has got filament all through it. So when you see this in person, it just sparkles.
Wow.
And the moon is also full of filament. And so it just glistens when you see it right there. And, you know,
that is beautiful.
That is
it's so good. You know, I do Halloween, but I do kind of more whimsical Halloween.
Okay. Yeah.
And so this is, I liked her. I thought she looked.
Yeah.
All right, so then there's two more. I'll do this one next because I can handle it easier. This one was interesting because of the lace that you stitch at the bottom. This is called Emma's Garden. And you pick this green fabric and you bleach out the green so that it turns yellow. So I cheated, and I had bought the green fabric and I was scared to bleach it. And so I was at Dixie Darlin, which is an LNS there in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And they had the fabric with this pattern displayed, so to show you what it was supposed to look like. And they had already bleached it for you, and you could buy it already done. So I bought another piece of and I stitched it that way. But this lace is actually done like cross stitching. It's more back stitching, and it's done with 3 different sizes of
wait a minute. That's not lace? That's not a lace that you
stitched. I stitched that.
What?
And you use like a number 8 and a number 4 and then regular DMC. Whoa. All, you know, in white, and you follow that. But the pattern nearly drove me crazy because it wasn't symmetrical. It wasn't the same on each end, and I kept thinking I was making a mistake, and I couldn't handle it. So I had to copy one end to the other and make them the same.
You are about symmetry, because the piece on the back, you had to make the colors kind of match the heart in the back. You have to make the colors match and stuff like that. You're all about symmetrical and symmetry.
Very symmetrical. I like it to be just right. But this has the neatest story to it. This is my Sleeping Beauty. And I won this pattern on a Flosstuber's channel, Cowgirl Kate Paints Aplenty.
Okay.
And she is an artist, and she also cross stitches. But I won this chart. It's a Mirabilia.
Whoa.
And it came with the fabric. And the story was she and her best friend were going to stitch it together. And her best friend started it, and Kate hadn't started hers yet. And her best friend passed away.
Oh.
So her best friend's mom gave Kate all of her cross-stitch supplies, and it included the Sleeping Beauty that she had started. So Kate put her pattern and fabric up as a giveaway on her channel, and I won it. So the story touched me so much that I contacted her and said, let's do it together. And we started it together in Mania, May 12th in, I think, 2016. And she stitched on it that day and she couldn't do it. She just couldn't, she wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So she hasn't, I don't think she's touched it since. But I finished mine. And when I finished it, I sent her a picture and told her how much I appreciated it. And she said, you need to send that to Jill Wentzler and have your mat painted. And I said, I would love to do that, but I just don't have that in the budget. And she didn't even hesitate. She just said, well, if you trust me, I'll do it. And so I had my framer send the mat to Kate, and she, if you can see it, she painted on the corners there the flowers to match the flowers that are, you know, on the side, on 2 corners.
Beautiful.
That one and that.
That's a beautiful.
And then she mailed it back to me, and I took it to the framer and put it together. So this one is very sentimental, you know, to me. And the framer did such a great job. There are swirls of beads in this blanket, you know, going around her. Those swirls are beaded. There's a ton of beads in here. And my frame has little swirls in it as well. So it's just really one of my favorite pieces. Even my son said, you know, that this one's his. He wants this. He's also claimed one of my whips that I have to show today, too. He said, I'm sticking that for him. So those are some finishes I wanted to share with you. I'll put that over there so I don't drop it.
Beautiful work. Beautiful work.
And what it speaks to is the variety of your taste. You know, just what you were just saying, you know, you're not a single focus theme or designer. You follow your fancy.
Yes. Yeah, I do. If something strikes me, you know, then I get it. I'm not a loyal follower of any one, you know, designer. I like to really enjoy whatever's there.
And then that one piece that's behind you, that's the one that you stitched at StitchCon. You changed it from red to the blue greens.
Yes.
The Paris, right? Or,
it's a Sue Hillis.
Yeah.
She was there. It's called Breakaway Paris. This is one thread. It's a variegated silk. And I took it and showed it to Sue when I had her sign my pattern.
Yeah.
And I said, I decided to do mine in this blue-green variegated silk. And I said, what do you think? And she just kind of looked at me and said, I don't like green. I don't think she was too impressed. She likes her red, you know, and I had taken it out of her red and put it in something else. I don't think that was real popular. But anyway, that was my funny story.
It's beautiful. I remember seeing it and just thinking, oh my God, that is just gorgeous.
Yeah, that was our late night stitching piece.
Yeah.
Yes, that was, because I was determined to finish it, wasn't I? Yeah. I was like, I'm almost there. That's the piece that I learned to stitch, what I call my retreat stitching, where I stitched boxes around solid color places. And while, you know, sitting there talking during the day, you just mindlessly can fill in. And,
yeah.
And that's where I learned to do that. So I have StitchCon to thank for that.
Do you have any recent finishes that you wanted to show? Any other?
I do. I had to have a finish to keep up with Gary. So, so this is Sew Together by Jeanette Douglas. This is called Scissors and Threads. This year I'm doing a lot of things for my sewing room to decorate my stitching room. And so this is one of the 4 that she designed in a series. And when I went to do this in Mania, I was so excited because I was going to stitch it with sulky thread, and it was my first time using sulky thread. I was so into it about getting all the sulky threads that I wanted to match this. I forgot to pull fabric. And so I sat down my day to start it, and I didn't have any fabric. So I went in my stash, and I found this beautiful piece of fabric, which is it's called Springfield Sage Lugana. And I think I bought it at Stitcher's Paradise when I was there one time. And so this is a big piece of fabric for this little piece. But what I decided, once I saw how pretty the colors actually were turning out, is I pulled 2 others of her series of the 4 are in similar colors. And they have, one has a bird and one has a bunny rabbit. Oh. And so I'm going to do all 3 of them across and then frame it, together.
Oh, cute. I like that.
So that, this is just staying in a whip bag, and I'll have a new start off of it soon.
Very nice.
And then my last finish I'll share with you today, I just finished yesterday, and it's a commissioned piece. I don't usually stitch for others, on commission. I've done it a couple of times, but that does make it feel like a job, and so I don't like doing that. But my sister Stephanie asked me if I would stitch an E for her great niece, and her great niece, who is 6, picked out something similar to this that I showed her on Pinterest just to give her an idea. And she said she wanted a pink flower on it. So I couldn't find a pattern, so I just had to graph it and kind of.
Wow, that is beautiful.
Wow.
So this is hers. And then I got down to the flower, and I picked 3 hand-dyed flosses that were variegated, different. One was a really almost a red pink, and another was a real pink. She picked this one, which is very pink. And it's funny because the name of the color is bubblegum. I think that's appropriate, don't you, for a 6-year-old girl to pick bubblegum. So I just finished that. Now I'll be mailing that off to her mom to have she can finish it however, pillow or frame it or however she wants. So that I just finished yesterday.
That is beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you.
Good design there.
Thank you. I had a picture from Pinterest that I was using sort of as an inspiration. Tried to, do something close.
Excellent. Excellent. Do you have any finishes, Carrie?
Oh, I have one.
Okay.
So it's a berry. I want to ride the berry train as long as I can. So,
That's cute.
Yeah,
that's cute.
It's Scary Berry from Erica Michaels.
That's a nice it's a full scene.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Wow. And it flows with the witch going in and the bat going out. That's nice.
So this is going to be.
That's nice.
This is the linen pattern. There's the other pattern, the silk one, and it's got like a house on it. So I'm going to stitch it, but on fabric, because I like the pattern.
Is that kaleidoscope again?
Yes, this is the same kaleidoscope. That's my one finish.
Do you have any finishes?
No.
Okay, I know you've been working hard on a
Man.
I think everyone's watching.
Yeah. So I have a finish.
Oh, you have a finish too? Oh, it's just me that didn't know. Okay.
I finished. F is for Fox. This is the F for the sampler book by Erica Michaels, and the specialty stitch in this one is the 4-sided stitch.
And that's around the fox, right?
Yes, those are the little boxes around the fox, and there's one in each corner of the border. All of the thread is Victorian Model Sampler, and I'm stitching all of the specialty stitch names in the same Silks for You. I think it's the same color that Annie had last week. I think it's the same color.
And the words are all over one.
Yes, the word.
Yes.
All over one.
Yeah. So not bad. You're ready to do the Gary stitches next, right?
Yeah. And this is 32 count confetti.
I like it.
Yeah, and each set of 2 letters is going on a different color linen.
It's going to be a colorful book.
It'll be
in muted tones, right?
Yeah, they're prim colors. Yeah. Okay. So anybody have anything fully finished? I just put it on there just to be on the safe
I didn't
side.
have any.
Okay, so whips, Dena, let's see what you're working on.
Okay. Gary will recognize this one, and y'all will too, I'm sure.
You're gonna call me out. I got to pick that back up.
Get back up.
Yes, give it to him. Yes. More finishes.
I stopped at the moon.
No. got started now on the horse's head. So that was the part that I worked on. And I'm stitching this on Banshee, which is a hand-dyed fabric by Stephanie. It is, I'm thinking, let me see if it's a linen or an even weave. It's linen, Gary.
Oh, that's a beautiful color.
Linen. Well, I have a proposition for you. I have this piece left of it.
Oh.
It is a 26 by 17. You could do a lot of Halloween on that. And I was going to ask you if you were in the mood to barter for this.
Oh, what do you want to barter for?
I want to barter a bag.
Oh, you've got the boss coming in here.
Just have Ron come in and tell him to tell me what kind of what's your favorite candy, Ronnie. I'll send you that too. Anyway, first time you've probably been propositioned on your own channel, right?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I think.
So that's my whip. The other stuff, my E that I finished. So
Excellent.
Nice.
EJ, let's see your whip.
I'm working on the By the Bay piece, Unconditional Love. So I've been working on it this week, and I've gotten.
Wow!
Oh wow!
Look at that!
I still have stuff left, but this is what I've done. Yeah, I still have straight stitches to do over here.
Okay.
And then off of here is like a 500 to 600 stitches of leaf.
Wow.
And then the flower.
Additional, and then love on the bottom right there. So yes, it's getting there. I was so happy. That's why I love stitching words, because you see how quickly it went.
Mm-hmm.
Versus I did this like
Monday,
in 2 days,
done.
A day or so. Huh?
By Monday it should be done.
I remember I said there's a leaf. There's a big leaf right here. Don't forget that. Don't forget I said that. Remember?
Stay tuned for next week's finish.
That's my hopes and dreams right now.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yes.
That's amazing. Oh, good work.
Thank you. So, and that's all I've worked on this week.
My whip, I picked up this week. I only worked on it one day. Time Enough.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Cathy Barrett piece that I'm stitching on 32 count Tiger Eye by Tiger's Eye. It's a 35 count Tiger's Eye by Weeks Dye Work. And I bought this when I visited the Stitch Niche in Arlington, Texas in January when I was coming back from a trip.
Yeah, that's when we had our cross-country meetup. I was in town and she was in town, and we met up at the store.
Yeah. Really good fried chicken. I still remember that fried chicken. So that's my whip this week. So I was really happy. I hadn't worked on that, so that was good. How about starts? Anybody have starts?
I've got 2 starts.
2 starts. Okay, let's start with your starts.
All right. So started World Holiday, along with Carolyn Zook, and this is mostly what I focus on all week.
Wait, you got to finish, and you started, and that's what you got in the start? Oh my gosh. You did all that stitching?
Yeah, it's not that much.
So that
start.
The bottom half of her skirt.
Down here.
Yeah, and this is 32 count Anubis from hand dyed by Stephanie. No, Under the Seas fabric.
Under the Sea, yeah.
Leslie, yeah.
The stitch count fabric I bought. It was all about fun.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, wow.
And then Deb's Wheel of Destiny. We were supposed to start this Saturday. So last night at 12:01, started it. I got lax scar. You know how I like words.
Oh yeah, this has a ton of words.
And it's got a ton of words. And most
I can knock that out in a minute.
most of the letters are all more than 2 stitches away, so you have to end a letter and start a letter, end a letter, start a letter.
Mm-hmm.
Not Shelia though.
Ew.
Yeah, that's all my starts.
Okay, Dena, do you have any starts this week?
No, I don't have any more starts.
I have a new start. Last weekend, I was supposed to be at Stitching Under the Oaks, which is a retreat held in Florida. Mm-hmm. And of course, it was canceled. But Jean Farish was our designer teacher. She's actually teaching a series, which she started last year at Stitching Under the Oaks. We had Lady Elizabeth's garden, I think Lady Charlotte's garden, and this is Lady Catherine's garden.
You've done all those?
I've done Elizabeth and Charlotte.
Okay.
And in the we have a picture that we'll show.
Yeah.
In here is some stitched elements with vines and flowers, and in each of these boxes, which will be all around the piece, each one of these boxes will have a specific pulled white work stitch. So we'll be using a color thread, the same color as the fabric, which makes it white work, and the threads, the stitches pull to create holes, so it gives it kind of a lacy look. Okay. The fabric is Studio Line 30 count sea salt.
Yeah, this is like
gauze. It is
very delicate.
Very delicate, but I love it because the holes, you can really count the threads.
So it's a very similar design to the last one you did, and you put when you frame it, you put a different type of color matting behind it, so you can see through it. Yes. So you can see. So you have to. My tendency to carry threads is not possible with something like this. You cannot carry a thread unless it's white.
But even with that, you
can see it.
You'll see it through the holes in the pulled work.
Yeah. You have to avoid where there will be a hole, so you don't see a thread behind it. So the threads are Cosmo Threads. All of her pieces, she likes Cosmo, which is, I think it comes out of Japan, and they use long staple Egyptian cotton. So she's used pretty much the same color scheme in all of them.
They're very thin. Are they thinner than DMC?
I think they are a little thinner, because if you cut them too long, by the time you get to the end, they'll thin out a little bit. You kind of shred, don't shred. Yeah. But they haven't shredded on me yet. So I am very excited. I will be focusing on this until it's done. So I'm figuring it might take at least 2 weeks, because the pulled white work stitches, they're hard.
Yeah.
And they're new, and they'll take a lot of concentration. So so I'm excited. I've been waiting for that, because I've enjoyed the series. I enjoy the challenge of a specialty stitch, and it. I mean, I sit there and I'm frustrated. Sometimes a specialty stitch, you just want to cry because you can't get it right. But then when you do, there is such a satisfaction of having achieved. You can't beat it.
Yeah.
You can't beat it. So
it's the stitcher's high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shelia, I wanted to tell you I admire you so much, because you're doing your book where you're doing a different stitch for every letter, and you do these beautiful projects that you take in classes where you learn these special stitches, and I just think you're an example for all of us, and an inspiration to me personally.
Oh,
for how much you grow and learn. It means a lot.
Oh,
I very appreciate
thank you. I kind of see it as being a glutton for punishment.
As long as you enjoy it, it's not punishment.
Thank you, Dena. I appreciate that. And I will do that when I want to cry. I can get this. I can get this. But Jean Farish, because we did not have the class, she has created some videos. She's created a video for each stitch.
Oh, that's good.
That's been released to the class members, only to class members. She offered help and assistance over multiple platforms, including a specific Facebook group for the class members. So she's really just stepped up and gone out of her way, I think, to help us, through.
And it also brings more stitchers in who can't make it to the retreat.
Well, no, this is closed.
This is for the class. No, but I'm talking about for future. She could do that in the future because you could be living in the state of Washington, and you can't come to Florida, but you want to take the class.
Yes.
Boom, you have this available.
I think the new Zoom environment has opened people up to other possibilities.
Yeah.
We'll see how it expands on things in the future. Could be fun.
Exactly.
Yeah. We can't go backwards. We always have to be moving forward.
Always move forward. Embrace new technology and step into the future. And I think it's very bright. I think there's so much opportunity that we 5 years from now, we'll look back and we used to go and sit somewhere around a table and sit with other people and go, wow, yeah.
It's like, remember the days when you only checked your email like once a month?
Oh.
It's in there.
Yeah. But she will be making, in the future, like many designers who do classes, the chart will be made available to the public in the future with the teaching video.
Oh, good.
Something really to look forward to. So I'm assured that based on our experience with the videos, she'll be able to fine tune them if necessary in preparation for that. So very excited. Okay. Start. That was my start. Okay, haul. Who has haul?
I don't have I do have haul. I have haul.
Okay, EJ has haul. Gary, do you have haul?
I have no haul.
Okay, I do have a little haul. All righty. EJ, let's see your haul. Dena, did you have haul?
No haul.
Okay, I thought I saw you shake your head, but oh, look at
oh, what is that, EJ?
Look at you.
And guess what? It's a grime guard for the lap stand. 11 by 11. And oh my goodness, look at this.
Let me see the inside again.
It almost smells like coffee.
Nice,
no.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Ronnie says I got haul.
Oh, Gary has haul. Okay. And I got my Books for You club.
Threads?
Yeah. Thread club.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Those are lush.
Typically, I get the color set where all of the shades are kind of color coordinated. But I know she had shipping challenges because she gets her silk from Asia. So she was running low at some point. But I got to tell you, I am not disappointed because this red and this purple or lilac, and that blue. I mean,
yeah. Project with these.
Oh, absolutely.
Any kind of ink circles or something like that, or
just beautiful.
Great together.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Her Silks for You comes from Australia. She PayPals you each month, and it's $20. So I mean, like, can't get out.
Yeah.
I did figure out it's 15 meters, so that's about yards.
Okay.
So that's nice. That's a nice club that I'm in.
Yeah.
All right, that's my haul. So Gary, let's send that
Let me stand up over here.
that hamper that Ronnie brought out.
So I ordered this on Amazon. It's a big.
Oh, look at that!
18 big bag for my project bag, so I can sit next to my.
Oh.
Yeah, Leah and Ginger were complaining that it was in their way, so I had to stack them.
That's nice. What I like about it is that it stands up on its own.
Only when it's full. I was not too impressed with it, but once I got it packed, it's good.
Oh, okay.
Well, that just means to keep it packed. You have to keep that many bits all the time.
Just projects, so I can put like a year's worth of projects in there and just go through.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Pineapples too.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Any? So
have Stitchy Kindness as well.
You have Stitchy Kindness?
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lori, the flying cross stitcher on Flosstube. Lori. Hi, Lori.
Hello.
She watched the video when I said I was going to teach my nieces to cross stitch. And she messaged me, it's like, look, I have these little starter kits like that, because she used to teach as well, little kids how to cross stitch. And she has some starter kits. Can she send some for my nieces? I'm like, yes, thank you. And my patients, thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. So she sent it. Hold on. And she sent little goodies for the girls as well. Of course, the starter kit is the ladybug and little project bags, little beach bags. And the girls love it. Of course, the bright colors and stuff. So they were really happy. So thank you, Lori. And she added some stuff for us to give away. So some stuff to add into our giveaway for us that we're going to be doing. So thank you, Lori.
Yeah.
So that's from Lori. Then I had some Stitchy Kindness from Deb. Remember, you know Deb. Deb, South Florida, Stitcher Deb. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So she said some stuff. She was destashing. I'm like, yes. So she sent me this. It's called Jolly Santa Zipper. It's a kit.
Oh, nice. How cute.
Yes.
Is that a is that Bent Creek?
Yes, Bent Creek.
Okay.
It's a zipper.
Oh, okay. Cool.
The Sweetheart Tree. This is called Don't Bug Me. Don't bug me.
Hey,
don't bug me when I'm stitching.
Wait. Is that related to me? Is that what you're going to hang up? You know, look, I'm stitching on this gear.
Exactly. You see? Every time Gary asks me a question. You heard it. She also sent me the dictionary series from Cherrywood Design Studios. Mm-hmm. Needle. Oh, my lighting just went bad. Scissors, linen and Ada, floss, and that's it. Okay. Oh, did I do stitch? Stitch.
Yeah.
That's a great series.
That's a wonderful series. Talk about words.
Yes. So I know, I love it, and I want to do it on the gingham, but I think I want to do it on one and then have it all over when I get my house. My stitch room.
Like a gray
my stitching salon. I need a stitching salon like Shelia.
There you go.
Like a gray or a putty.
Huh?
Like a gray or putty gingham.
Yeah. I don't know.
So it doesn't take. So it's got that texture of the gingham, but it doesn't like slap you in the face.
Oh, okay.
So you focus on the word. You can read the words.
You can read the words.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I got some stitching to do.
When's it done?
That's it for me. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Lori. My nieces, thank you. My patients, thank you. Thank you. They're so excited. They're so excited.
Very good.
Yeah.
Dena, let's talk to us about your Flosstube channel. How long have you been doing it?
How did you get your name? How did you get half stitch, cross stitch?
It was so accidental. When I decided to have a email account years ago, I wanted it to have something to do with my stitching, my hobby.
Mhm.
And I tried cross stitch and I tried stitching, and all these different things were taken. And so I just went down the list of stitches I knew. Straight stitch, half stitch. Well, half stitch wasn't taken, so it became half stitch. So that was my email. So then when I decided to do a Flosstube channel, I thought, well, I need to keep everything sort of consistent for me so I can remember everything. Mm-hmm. And so I just said half stitch, cross stitch. So that's because it's about cross stitching. And
I love it.
So and the funny thing is people think that I like half stitching, to do half stitches, and I really don't care. They don't bother me, but they're not my favorite stitch or anything. Yeah. So it really was quite the accident to have that. And it's a long name, and I wish now I had thought of something a lot more creative, but I don't want to change it now because several people kind of know who I am. So
several people?
Not that well.
There's a couple.
So that's how that happened.
Yeah, I think it was your name that is how I found you.
Mm-hmm.
The name is perfect.
Yes, it is.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Well, and I think it kind of flows with your format because you do like a little snippet throughout the week.
I love
that. So it's just, I love that.
Yeah.
That format, and it's just what you got this.
Gary thinking, look at that! Look at. I see you, Gary. I see you.
Yeah. Well, I actually started that because I found myself forgetting things because when I first started out, I did a Flosstube video all at one time. I took over the dining room table, put everything out, showed everything. I had notes taped around, trying to remember that I wanted to say about each of the things I'd worked on. And I would forget things. And as soon as you turn the camera, you think, oh man, I meant to say this. And you don't want to keep recording over and over again. So you miss saying things that are important, like lessons you learned or something about your fabric or the thread or anything that you think might be helpful for somebody else or interesting, to somebody. And so I decided, I think I'm just going to do it as soon as I finish stitching it. And that way it's all fresh. And then I can just, knit them together.
Yeah.
And it became a much easier time for me. So my time is more in editing now, just tying it all together, is filming it. So that's not so bad. At least I don't forget.
And you do a beautiful editing job. I love the placard. You write down what's coming and stuff. Like, I like that. I really do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And you post weekly.
Well, I normally do bi-weekly, but during the COVID season, I started doing a little more frequent because people said we like to have videos to watch. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, with Mania, I was doing the most starts I've ever done in a Mania. I really did go manic, and so I had enough to show in a week. Mm-hmm. If I had waited 2 weeks, the videos would have been very long.
Yeah,
and I know that's not always convenient for people to sit. They can't sit that long and watch. Right. So,
well, I have enjoyed them weekly, and I think because of the way you do it, the daily updates are all pretty much daily updates. Mm-hmm. Just keeps it fresh and interesting and moving along.
And you see the progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. It's true. You can. You can see you can watch it move.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a Netflix series or something. You're like, oh, the Dena show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Do you have other social media that you admin?
I have a Instagram. It's Half Stitch 2017. because that's when I joined it. You know, everything with me has to be logical so I can remember it. And I'm getting older, so it's harder to remember things.
Yeah.
I have a sal that I'm administering. I have been for a couple of years now, called the Smoky Mountain Christmas Sal, and it was a piece that I stitched that was very popular. It's harder to find now. You can only get it on patternsonline.com, I think. It's called Smoky Mountain Christmas. And it's a beautiful pattern of Santa with a sleigh. He's holding up a little beagle puppy, and it's being pulled by two black bears.
Oh.
And Santa's coat is quilted. And it's, you know, you cross stitch what looks like a quilted coat, and it's just beautiful. Confetti, crazy, but it's beautiful. And I stitched it, and I used white beads for snow, and I entered it in the state fair in Georgia, and I won the best in category with it. So I got like 3 or 4 ribbons on that thing. It was wonderful. And so as I was showing that on my channel, people were like, "What is that?" You know, and we started a sal, and it is still ongoing. There are still people joining it today, and that's been a couple of years, I think. So I'm just keeping it up and letting new people join, and, you know, welcoming them in and answering questions and things, you know, when they have questions about the pattern. So that's that. And other than that, I'm going to start one, which I will wait and hold for plans. I've got your...
Smoky Mountain, that's K-E-Y, and then the full word mountain.
Yeah, S-M-O-K-Y. And then I don't think there's an E in it.
Okay.
Mountain Christmas. Sal. Mm-hmm.
Is it on Insta?
No, it's on Facebook.
Okay.
I wasn't even on Insta when I started that. I'm slow to technology. I'm behind the curve.
Okay. Gary, do you have any announcements?
Yes, I have an announcement. So we're still working on bags. The plan is still to have them on the 20th.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay. Ronnie is working away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want to stress them out. It happens.
You got ankle chain to the ironing.
That's not a chain. That's a silk rope. Very elegant. It's cream.
Really elegant.
And I'm still working on the website. It's not up yet, so it's still a couple of weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks out. So when that gets live, then we'll hopefully be able to move.
Just say July.
Yeah,
July.
Yeah, we'll try to move. The plan is to move our Saturday sales to the website so people can
make it easier.
Can find the sets, you know, because that's the biggest thing. People says, "Well, I want this, this, and this," and when I go through the albums, I've lost it. So hopefully this will be easier for you to get what you want.
Excellent.
Still have to get it fast because he can only make so much.
Yeah.
He does a lot, but not that many.
Alrighty. Announcement. Do you have any announcements?
Oh, yeah, I do. I have one announcement, and that is there is a sale that will be starting on June 15th. It's to start any Teresa Wentzler pattern that you want, or if you're working on one, you join it.
DJ, don't you have one?
A Teresa Wentzler?
Don't you?
I don't think so.
Think so?
You can find it.
I'm going to grab mine.
That's a lifelong commitment right there.
It's well, yeah.
My nativity has been a lifelong commitment, that's for sure. All right, this is the one I'm starting. It's called Mermaid.
Oh my God. Goodness. I haven't not seen it before.
I think it's beautiful. It's different. It's a different view of a mermaid than any I've ever seen, you know, with the Mirabilia ones. And so I like it. And I finished yesterday. Oh, I'm going to stitch her on the Queen Anne's lace.
Oh,
pretty. And I finished making my bobbins for my blends, which is a thing I do for her. Is I make a bobbin for every blend that she calls for, so that when it's a blend, I don't have to stop and match them up. They're already there. And I want to show you this. There are 97 blends in this pattern. Here's my bobbins.
Whoa.
Wow.
As I just dump them out. But anyway, it's a whole box full.
Whoa.
Really smart to do the kit up the blends. I like that idea. Especially with her.
So you literally took one of one and then wrapped it together?
Yeah, I'll show you what it looks like when I do that. I took one length of each of the two colors, and I'll try to find one where they're a little more different so you can really see them. Hold on a second. I'll find one that's got two colors where you can see it, where there's maybe a brown and a blue or something. But I go ahead and I split them up, and this is brown and purple, but it may not show up that well. But I split the 6 strands, and then I wrap 2 of them here, one in the middle and one on the end, and then I go around this way to hold them down, and then I come back over them with 2. So there are 6 pairs on here, which is just one cut from each color. And but when this symbol comes up on the pattern, I just grab it like any other bobbin, take it off, stitch, put my remnant back on here and take off. And I don't have to stop and pull 2 colors and cut a strand, the whole 9 yards. So it takes a little time. It's a commitment, but I will tell you, it saves me hours while I'm stitching.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I waste a ton of floss when I do the blends, because if I have like this much left, I don't have anything to wind it on, so I just put
it's on bobbin, put it back on. Put it back on. The beautiful part about it, when I write on the bobbin, I don't know if you can see that, but let me find my camera. I write the colors that they are, and I write them in the same order that they are on the pattern.
Okay.
And I just file them behind the first number on the card. So when I'm looking for this blend, I just go to 611, and then any of the blends that have, that start with 611 are in order right behind it. So it's easy to find, and I know what the 2 colors are. So when I'm through with this pattern and I've got any blends left over that have nice full lengths that are together, I can just split them back apart and wrap them around those bobbins before I put them away, and I don't waste my floss. I'm a very big floss miser. I like to keep my floss, save it. Because especially now, it's getting more and more expensive. Getting harder to find, So, but that is going to be, it'll have a hashtag. It's all lowercase, TW Sal, for Teresa Wentzler, TW Sal 2020. And that's on Instagram.
Okay.
Nice, easy one.
Yeah, nice, easy one. If anybody wants to join us, that would be great. Ann P. from Fiber Floss and Fiction is joining, and Becca from Becca Stitching is joining, and several people I know that aren't floss tubers but are viewers, have contacted me that they're joining. So we probably have about 8 or so already signed up.
Good.
So it'll be fun, and I think any pattern you want, so we'll get to see a good variety.
Yes. And even if you're not stitching it, if you just follow the hashtag, you'll see other people stitching it, and you're like, oh, like you get a whole lot of inspiration that way.
That's true. I think so. Her stuff is so pretty.
Yeah. Are you stitching the border as well? The border around? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Thank you. It may take me a long time to do. It'll be like EJ says, a lifetime project.
Man.
I am looking forward to watching it come alive on the fabric.
Yeah, it's going to be
Thank
great.
you. Me too. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just quickly reference. So we have a cruise scheduled next July 11th through the 18th on the Norwegian Cruise Line Breakaway. 7 days of the Western Caribbean. Please come and join us. We have several. I mean, wow, folks! Thank you. So many folks have reserved cabins are joining us. It is a no frills cruise. Bring your own stitching. And we're going to have a ball. I can tell from the list of folks who signed up. Yeah, we're going to have fun. We will have fun. And if you're interested, please contact Lisa Mendez. We do the poster at the end of this video. It's on our Facebook group. And the last couple of videos, I pinned the comment. I'll do that maybe for the next couple of videos, and then I probably won't anymore. So please join us if you like. Take advantage of all the great deals that are available now. Cruise Line wants us back, and so there are great deals available. You'll never cruise as inexpensively ever, probably. And so now the thing that everybody is waiting for, Dena, what are your plans?
Well, I'm getting ready for July already. So I'm going to do Jolly July or Christmas in July, whatever you call it. And so far, I know there are probably 10 starts that I'm going to do, and I may do more. I don't know. So my month of June, I'm spending trying to finish as many of my Mania starts as I can. So far, I've finished 7 of the 20. I won't get them all because some of them are larger, projects. But all of the smaller ones that I can finish within a few days, I'm going to do that and get them out of the way so I can add all these Christmas starts in. And so it'll be almost like another Mania for me, but it'll be Christmas. And that's what my plans are for now. We'll see how it goes.
I totally get it because I do Christmas in July every year. I do Christmas ornaments for my family. And plus we do ornament exchanges. So I think every year I do 7 or 8 Christmas ornaments. And I just do them in July. I just stitch them in July, and then I finish them in November.
Yeah.
I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
Gary, do you have any plans?
Well, the plan is to continue stitching on this piece today.
Okay.
Hopefully Deb started hers today. We're doing that together. And then on Sunday, we're all starting the firework lane sound.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I like that.
From the Little Stitch Girl. And the fabric I'm using is called Icon from Colorscape. I picked it up when we were in Dallas at the Stitch Niche. Yeah. I still got the tag on there.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I remembered.
Put it up again. Put up the pattern and the fabric.
Well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to switch the houses around because it's red, white, and blue. So I'm just gonna.
White, red,
yeah, I'm just gonna. It's gonna be the same house, but I'm just gonna change the colors to white and then the blue and put it on the edge.
Oh, okay.
And then I can put another dog in because Ginger noticed that she wasn't in the piece, so it's just got Leah there. So
poor Ginger.
She's left out.
She's like, where am I at?
I know. Hey, what are your plans?
Who, me?
Yeah, EJ.
I didn't hear you. I plan on finishing this.
Yeah.
Hey, look at it again. It's so beautiful. Yeah, that's my plan. My plan is to finish that. And yeah, that's next week. I'll tell you next week.
Okay. All right.
To be continued.
Yes. And my plan is to continue to work on my class project. So when you see it next week, I will have all of the border parts done and hopefully several of the full work white work stitches.
So do you have a backup plan for your Zoom stitching? Because that's kind of difficult to do on Zoom.
I actually may only pop in on Zoom to say hi.
Oh, okay.
This week.
Wow, we've been pushed out.
Yeah. Because I learned last night, the border would probably have been finished, but this section here, all of it had to come out last night after I got off Zoom because I had so screwed. So I said, yeah, this won't work. So no. So I'm popping in on the Zoom sessions this week just to say hi so people know I'm still around.
Okay.
No, not so much. Alrighty. I think that's it. Yeah. Can anybody think of anything else? No? All right. Well, this has been
Thank you.
fabulous.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I've had such a fun time. It's so great to get to see you guys again, first of all, you know, and I appreciate so much you inviting me. Thank you.
So glad you showed up.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I think we've said it all.
And don't forget,
no matter where you are, the sun is
always shining when you're stitching. Bye.
Bye.
Why am I forgetting that?